Welcome back, everybody. Ringside Beer Show, episode 25. It's your boy, Jason, here with
Alex. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for checking us out.
We are so glad to welcome you guys back to the next episode. First off, how was your weekend, brother?
It was not bad, man. I enjoyed the fights. I spent it with the family. Can't complain. Things are starting to open up a little bit out here in California. And I'm looking forward to that because it's been locked down. It's been like 60 days in for me.
Yeah, we're ready to just see the world again.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's you know what? It's about time. It's about time we open up. Like,
absolutely, safely, of course, but we would like to still be able to live life and do the things that we got to do. But absolutely, I understand, and I spent the time with family as well and enjoyed the fights. So let's get into a little bit of current events.
Let's do it.
So,
right, what do we got first?
We will start off here. Oh, you want to do it?
Yeah, we got we have some. Was it Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua news? We have promoter Frank Warren. He says we will see Fury versus Joshua this year. We are at a stage where we are not far off getting it done and announcing it.
If I may, I feel like this is just continuously the same thing over and over. It's just they want to keep people salivating at this. But at a certain point, it's like dangling the carrot in front of somebody's face too long. We're going to not be interested. So they need to make this fight, and they need to do it not just this year, but in the early part.
Well, I hope they do it by midsummer, maybe. And then, I mean, a lot of fights are already getting announced. We have Canelo.
I would like it to happen around May, particularly May 14th. That would be great. Just saying.
I mean, Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just throwing ideas out there, but, let's make it happen.
Let's do it, man. I'm excited. I hope they announce it pretty soon. That's it, though.
Exactly. And, I mean, they shouldn't take any other fights until they make this fight.
Yeah.
Seriously.
All right, next up.
Manny Pacquiao has been removed as the WBA super welterweight champion, and they replaced him with my boy Yordenis Ugas.
Yes.
Wow. So it looks like here he took to Twitter, Ugas, and says, "Thanks to the WBA for elevating me to super champion and doing the best for the sport. This gives fans a chance to see a great unification at 147 pounds." And Earl Spence responds with, "All you needed was something I want. All you needed was something I want. Strap season."
Hey, look at that. Earl Spence is like, well, that's another strap for me in the bank,
Yeah, keep them coming, bro.
I don't know how I feel about that because Manny Pacquiao, I mean, he's lining up fights, and we'll get right into it, but he has fights coming up. So why would they strip him from the belt?
Maybe more than likely it's to keep it pure, where they, how they
keep the division going.
They mandate you to fight X person.
Yeah.
It may be the same type of thing. Well, he was next in line and not Ryan Garcia. And so if you're trying to line up fights like that type of fight, or the Conor McGregor's, those are not the fights that should be for championship belts, in all honesty. So I understand why they would strip him for it. And knowing Manny Pacquiao, you could just go get it back. Just go get it back.
Well, that's another thing, a good thing that you pointed out. That's more for like the purists. Like, yeah, they stripped him because Manny Pacquiao was going after the super fights, I guess you would say. The Conors. Obviously, that's not going to happen anymore. But he is going for Ryan Garcia. Hopefully that happens, but we don't know. Still.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all speculation and it's hearsay. But what's set in concrete is Manny Pacquiao is not the WBA super welterweight. Excuse me. Yeah.
Welterweight. Yeah, you got it right, man.
Sorry, the short-term memory is just the worst.
Plus, it has been a long day for both of us. So
yeah, literally, we're filming on the 1st of the month. So busy day for me, busy day for him. But we ain't complaining. We trucking on along.
We keep on going. We keep on pushing through, man.
We keep going. All right, guys.
All right,
so
what do
on
we got
to
now?
The next one. We got Ryan Garcia speaking on the potential Manny Pacquiao fight. So he says, you get a call and somebody says you can fight Manny Pacquiao. What are you going to say to that? Your hero? One of your heroes, one of the people you've looked up to, and they say you have an opportunity to fight him, I couldn't say no.
And I agree with that, man. It's like if you're getting a call to, hey, you want to go fight Floyd? Well, you know what? Like, I'm going to go fight Floyd.
That's what
I'm going to go fight Pacquiao,
That's what a couple people are trying to do. They're just trying to fight Floyd and get that money. I mean, at the end of the day, These are the only fights that you can take when they're offered. You can't sit around and wait for it to happen. I mean, we wanted to see Mayweather versus Pacquiao for so long, and it didn't happen until way too late. Still a great fight, not the fight we wanted to see.
I mean, it was more like a dance fest, to be honest.
I don't want to say it was a great fight. I mean, still, it was sufficient. It was both of them there, and that's what we wanted to see, but just wasn't enough,
Yeah.
These are the fights that you take when they're offered right now. If you can go in there and beat a Manny Pacquiao, if you're Ryan Garcia, you take hella money home, and you take hella hype home.
You got to take it all, man. You got to say, like, hey, they're going to offer me the money fight. I'm going to run with it.
You know what the real money fight is?
Forget everybody else in line. I'm going after the money fight.
That's what it is, bro. It's all about the cheddar.
Money fight, Manny fight.
I'm telling you.
All right, what do we got next? We got, go back.
Excuse me.
All right, we have the Ryan Garcia on a potential exhibition against Manny Pacquiao, and this is what we're just talking about. Ryan Garcia says, the fight is going to be a fight, whether they named it an exhibition or a real certified match. I'm throwing punches like I'm throwing to knock Manny Pacquiao out. I'm not going in there to throw pillow punches. I'm throwing I'm throwing the punches I throw, and I'm sure Manny will throw the punches he throws. You guys can call it whatever you want.
It's exactly what Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson was saying, when they had their fight, whether it's an exhibition or,
But
it's
that,
a real fight.
That's different. We knew that was an exhibition, and Mike Tyson was pulling back on those head punches because he could have knocked out Roy Jones Jr. Easily.
Well, it's because he liked the guy. But if he didn't like the guy,
I think even so, as an exhibition, it's in the contract where you can't really knock him out. So I don't know why, and this is where the whole controversy is happening behind the scenes, because they're naming this fight as an exhibition. Obviously, there's no belts on the line, but to call it an exhibition, that means they might have restrictions on the fight, which most fighters have. Like, we're already seeing that once. We really don't want to see. We want to see an actual fight.
Exactly, and we want to see more on the line. We don't want to see exhibitions anymore. We want to see, that actual 1 or 0 go.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, and for Ryan Garcia to get that fight, I mean, he's looking to get knocked out. I don't know what it is, or you know what? Maybe if he gets his win, it catapults his career to the skies.
Right. I mean, the real question for Ryan Garcia is we saw him get dropped against Campbell.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, is he really ready for these types of people? The Manny Pacquiao's,
he's jumping
tanks.
up a couple weight classes to fight Manny Pacquiao.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. I'm sure he's still going to be quick and strong and everything, but we're talking about Manny Pacquiao. That's just
legend.
It's just a big gap, I feel, and even just skill wise. So.
And he just won against Keith Thurman, so it's not like he's out and about and he's out at the end of his career.
Scrubs, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he's not fighting scrubs. No, he's still fighting the top of the boxing of the rankings.
Yeah. So let's continue with the Ryan Garcia continuing to hype up this fight. So it looks like he says, "I'll make it very clear. I'm not fighting an exhibition. Let this statement go everywhere because so many things are being said. I'm not stepping into a ring with nothing on the line. I'm fighting someone who I've seen as an inspiration, and I'm coming to take the torch. 12 rounds with our records on the line."
Oh, this is what I like to hear. Ryan Garcia is clearing up the air. He doesn't want an exhibition. He wants a real fight against Manny Pacquiao.
Probably because he gets paid more.
Oh, probably. Well, I hope so. We both know there's not going to be a belt on the line, but this is for, obviously, legacy for Manny Pacquiao, and for Ryan Garcia. He could win everything. If he wins Manny Pacquiao, he's the next guy in line in that division.
And he could just start calling out whoever he wants, really.
You can call him the younger Canelo. Perfect segue.
Perfect segue. So let's get right into it. Did you want to read this one?
Go ahead, man. Go, you take it.
All right, brother. Canelo and Sanders to fight in early May. Super middleweight world title holders Canelo Alvarez and Billy Joe Sanders have agreed to fight in May. Sources confirmed to ESPN's Mark Kriegel on Thursday. The Athletic was the first to report the agreement. Hold on. Hasn't my boy have a fight lined up with Yildirim first?
I believe so, right? What didn't they say in April?
This boy is pulling it. He is pulling a Kamzat Chimaev right
he
here.
Just wants to fight
backing
back.
up, fights, lining them up back to back, and I respect it. And you know what? Line them up, knock them down.
Dude, I'm excited to see Canelo just come back, and to be on DAZN, where it's only $20 a month. So, hey, if you want to put it together, hey, put them both in April, put them both in May, you know?
Yeah, bro. Well, first of all, once again, let's have these fights happen in May. I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Just even more reason to drink some more Ringside beer and get litty. But with that being said, I got to be sober enough to watch this fight thoroughly because I got a job to do, guys.
Yo, this fight I'm so excited for too. I mean, I'm just excited to see a big name come back. So
exactly, yeah, and let's get a little more into the Canelo Alvarez news.
All right, so here we go. So we have Canelo Alvarez has fought 6 times in his career in Cinco de Mayo weekend. But with this May 5th falling on Wednesday this year, the fight could take place on either of the first 2 weekends of the month. Sources told ESPN Deportes that Alvarez would prefer to fight on May 8th.
I'm cool with May 8th as well.
Because even Cinco, regardless, if it's Cinco de Mayo, we celebrate on the weekend. Regardless,
exactly.
You know, so it doesn't. So
once again, the whole week, it's just an excuse for the whole week. Yeah. Wednesday is, it's hump day. You start drinking there.
You start drinking the Ringside beer.
Yep. Thirsty Thursday. Then you got Fantastic Friday.
You got blacked out Saturday.
And you got blacked out Saturday, looks like here the location for the Canelo Alvarez and Billy Joe Sanders is still undetermined, but Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas is the preferred site. Texas and Florida are the other 2 options, according to a source. Let's go!
Now,
hold on, bro.
Now, my selfish butt, I want them to do it in Vegas because I want to go, I want to attend, I want to watch it, or, something. I want to, dude, I don't know what I'm itching to go to a fight, dude. I'm itching to go to an event.
This would literally be one of Anna's dreams that she didn't even know she had a dream of because she would love to see Canelo fight at Raiders Stadium, bro.
Boom.
That would be amazing, bro.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone right there,
You know what
man.
I mean? So, Anna, don't be surprised if I try to spend all of our money on that.
Y'all, pre-warning right now. I'm about to empty the bank account right now. All right. Oh, I know. So we got this news that I know you're going to like.
Let's go.
All right, so we have Mayweather versus Logan Paul postponed.
Thank God. Thank you. Okay, let's get into this just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit, because I really don't want to spend too much time on this. I understand Mayweather's in a lot of heat right now. I understand we, as a society, still have a pandemic going on. I understand that there's not a lot of interest in this type of match. So I understand why this was postponed. But they should just change the verbiage from postponed to canceled, and we continue to move on and live life. Because I really don't see why they would even try to make this happen.
There was a little typo in that post, man. It should just say canceled.
Just like, you know what I'm saying?
You're like, gone. We left it back in 2020.
Yeah,
so
it was just one of those stupid ideas that, should just be left in the past.
Well, this is the thing. They postponed it because they said it was lack of interest, right? So... But, Logan Paul and Mayweather are saying that, it's not like a lack of interest. It's just they tried a new paywall that a lot of people are not familiar with. Do you know what I'm talking about? Or no?
I don't.
All right. So when they announced the fight, if you were an early bird, if you wanted to get the fight early and save some money, they were only going to charge you, I think, $20 a month, or $20 for the fight. That's if you would have purchased it early.
Right.
And I think they were going off those numbers because that's not new to us. Like, we don't know what's going to happen in February. We don't,
right.
They could be closing things down again. We need to be saving money. We don't know.
There's a lot of people there. I mean, you kind of got to just you got to catch them on an impulse, really.
Exactly. And I think what happened
Especially
was
for this kind of fight.
And I think this is the thing. They started off as far, let's say $20 for the pay-per-view if you get it within, the first month or whatever. And then as the fight gets closer, they were going to charge, I think it was $60 or something around there. And obviously, if people are not going to buy it for $20-something, what makes you think people are going to buy it for $60?
Yeah, bro, come on.
And I think also too, people that buy pay-per-views, usually I buy it the day of. I never buy it early.
You buy it right then when you have to, kind of thing.
Exactly. The day of the fight or the night before the fight, because you never know, something might happen. They pull the main event, and now you're,
For example, I had some technical issues when I purchased the Conor McGregor Poirier fight.
Yeah, I was surprised you didn't bring it up on the last set.
I was pissed, and then it started working. And I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, If they give me a refund, cool. If they don't, I got to see what I wanted to see. Although I missed like an hour of the most important stuff, I was still able to go back and rewatch it because you pay for it. But nevertheless, I paid for live, and I would prefer to have seen it live. But I'm trying this new approach, guys.
Yeah, well,
positivity.
That pay-per-view, that was, I mean, the best part of it was the co-main and the main event. So if you got to see those, you got your money's worth pretty much.
Right. I mean, yeah.
And the fights underneath were not.
At the end of the day, I tend to rewatch that stuff anyways because I kind of get a little bit of the like hype bias, I guess. You go when you're watching the fight live, you kind of already have like your, obviously I was going for Dustin Poirier, so like every shot it was landing, I was like, ah. But when you go back and watch it the second time, you're actually more thorough and you're more less emotional, more logical because you know the outcome. And so when I rewatched the whole thing, I got to catch up. But nevertheless, when we buy pay-per-views, we usually do it then and there. It's not something that you plan ahead 3 months because you're barely even going to remember it, even something like this.
The reason I think they made it because Logan Paul has such a young demographic. Like, obviously, the YouTube audience is usually younger, right?
Right.
So I think he was trying to cater to his younger audience. But let's be real. Like, how many kids or young people are going to buy the pay-per-view this early,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's kind of more like you just gotta wait, and it's not even. I don't know. The thing is, it's not even like wasn't even a real fight kind of thing. It's just they wanted to test the waters, is what it felt like to me. Yep. And they both got their clout from this. Let's change the verbiage to canceled, and let's move on.
All right, so what's the next one? Oh, we're still on this topic. So,
Jesus, Brendan Schaub, why do you even? Okay, this is the thing. When I saw this, I even got mad. I'm like, why did you even acknowledge this? But this was the quote. I think it's a weird way to gauge interest so early on. This is referring to what you were saying.
Yeah.
People don't know what the fuck they're doing that night. I wouldn't imagine 100,000 people would buy it that early. Yeah, Brendan Schaub, we agree with you.
Yeah, no, which is great because I'm like, dude, no one's going to plan that early.
Right.
Like, unless it's your anniversary, unless you're going to court or something, you got to plan early. But other than that, we don't.
Exactly. And then, you set an alert in your phone, but this wasn't that important. But thank you for that slide because I had to throw that little bomb up in there. Yeah. I always enjoy doing that.
I got that for you.
Although this is a PG show.
There we go, man.
You could get away with one cuss word. I think that's the limit.
It's the limit right there.
All right. So my boy Teofimo Lopez even spoke on this, which I would actually prefer him to speak on this as per se Brendan Schaub. But he said, stop this YouTuber boxing. Stop dismissing the sport that we worked so hard for. Shit's not sweet.
There we go. Simple and sweet. And I agree with it. If you're a purist, obviously we know Mayweather and Logan Paul are doing this for a one-off. And that's it.
I just feel like they got their clout, man. Like, you already got enough from it.
Yeah.
Just
make the fight happen. Whatever it sells, it sells.
Or don't.
Or put it out for free. Put it out for free on YouTube. People are gonna watch it. And that's the thing. Mayweather versus when he had the exhibition fight over in Japan. That was on YouTube.
On Risen, right?
Yeah, I think it was on Ryzen or whatever. Ryzen, it was like that one-off exhibition fight, 7 rounds. With a kickboxer, but it was a boxing fight.
Kid.
Yeah. It was like their prodigy out there, but it's why not have it on YouTube? The guy is a YouTube star. Charge $5 or whatever, $10, you're $20. I guarantee no one's going to pay more than that.
Right. No, I agree with that. YouTube should step in and be like, hey, look, we'll sponsor this. We'll we'll put it on our platform since he's an employee of ours, and then at that point we can just reap the benefits.
Exactly, man. Well, that wraps up the boxing news.
Thank goodness.
We're going over to some MMA news now. And right here, we're going to call this Dustin versus who, because we have Dustin versus Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje, Nate Diaz, Justin Gaethje also who was it? Who else am I talking about? Oh, Hooker kind of talked about his loss too.
Literally everybody in the top 5.
Exactly. We're all bundling this whole section to Dustin versus who.
So let's get it started with Dustin Poirier speaking on how he's not interested in fighting Michael Chandler for the UFC lightweight title. Charles Oliveira is a guy that paid his dues. He's earned where he's at, no doubt about it. Let him and Michael Chandler fight for the belt. If they want Chandler in there for the title, and he's calling for the title, then let them fight for the belt. I'll take a step back and just watch.
Look at that. Yeah, man. I know we cracked a joke, and our camera went off on our last episode. If you did not get a chance to see it, check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of cracked a joke where it was like, oh yeah, Charles Oliveira. We started talking about Charles Oliveira, and we're like, you know what? We passed on that. But he's rightfully earned that position at next title contender, right?
No, absolutely.
He's on eight win streak right now. So
yes. As a purist, that is the person that you want in there. Dustin has spoken on that.
Yeah.
Even Charles Oliveira spoken on that in this slide here. He says that's the fight that has to happen is Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. And in all honesty, if you are just looking at the the rankings, I mean that's just how it played out.
Exactly.
Now stylistically, it might not be the most exciting fight because they're both different names. You got Dustin Poirier who just cracked Conor McGregor. The biggest boogeyman in all of the UFC, apparently. And then you got Charles Oliveira, who's literally just continuously chopping at the bit. He reminds me of that...
technical difficulty.
He reminds me of Dariush. You remember Dariush?
Yes, I do.
Dude's he's in the lightweight division too. He deserves to be up there. He should be fighting.
He's fighting this weekend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He should be, and once again, he's just going to continue to prove, that he's supposed to be there. And it's just the name and it's just the hype value that doesn't follow. It's unfortunate.
Now, if you're a purist, this is the fight to make, but it's like as a pay-per-view to buy like for a belt, like they're not going to go.
You cannot have that as the main event.
Even though Dustin won, knocked out Conor McGregor, is it me or is it like not a lot of hype rolled over to Dustin? Do you know what I mean?
I think it's you. I think it's you, bro.
You were going for 4 years.
Once again, maybe the lens is just a little tilted, but
I'm watching it through a Conor McGregor lens right now. It's all blurry.
Maybe it's the algorithms in my phone that are just pumping Dustin Poirier stuff in front of my face. But it really feels like the focus has now moved onto him, and Conor McGregor's just off in the sunset, man. Ain't nobody thinking about that guy. Ain't nobody worried about that guy. He said what he had to say. Now people are more focused like, all right, now we want to know what you want to do. You're healthy. You're ready to go. We would like to still see what you got to do. And then Poirier's got that hot sauce, man. It's on fire right now, bro.
Yeah, he has things coming up, and I hope he makes a decision soon. I don't know if that's up to him, if he's just going to leave it up to Dana White to just be like, hey, or the matchmakers be like, you know what, choose whoever you want, whoever you want. I just want the belt. That's it. Because that's all he's been talking about. He just wants the belt.
Yeah.
So,
and it's just the money that comes with it, man.
Yeah.
Dan Hooker wants to get his little two-piece in here, even though he got two-pieced. And he just said, I like that one. I came up with that on the spot. He says, in that moment, let me just clarify what he's even talking about. So, Dan Hooker's speaking about his retirement rumors on the UFC 257
because he threw his gloves in the ring after he lost.
His gloves and threw them down, and even the commentator acknowledges that.
And he was a contender for that 155 title belt. Like, it was going to be him or Chandler fighting Conor or Dustin Poirier. This is why it's relevant for this portion right here.
And he fought Dustin Poirier before as well. But he says, in that moment, I was like, I'm done. I'm finished with this shitty sport. I'm done. And then you get back to the hotel and you sit down and think about it and you realize you're not good at anything else either.
Oh, man. I feel bad because he was like, oh, I'm going to retire. Wait a minute. I have no other skills. I'm unretired right now.
I was watching the interview and, he actually goes a little more into it. And, he's like, he kind of backed himself into a corner here with that move. But with that being said, he's still ready to go. He's still one of the top guys. Do I think it was a fluke? No, I think Michael Chandler, although I was going for Hooker, I think Michael Chandler has the style to take out a Hooker. And, he could probably do it 7 out of 10 times. That's probably the ratio that I'd give it.
And we even spoke about it because Dan Hooker was almost reserved, I wouldn't say timid, but it was more reserved, waiting to see what Chandler was going to do, and then Chandler just happened to land those punches. I'm like, you kind of were holding back a little bit too much, and then you let the opportunity pass you right by and gave it to Chandler. So
yeah, I agree with that. It just felt like he played right into what Chandler needed him to do.
Exactly.
And speaking of Michael Chandler, he goes in on the Dustin Poirier saying that he had more work to do before fighting Dustin Poirier. So he says, "Don't use the phrase 'has earned it' around me. I just came into your organization. I just came into the top 5. Kicked down the door, knocked out a guy in 2.5 minutes that you couldn't finish in 25 minutes, and I think I've cemented myself as the top guy. Whew.
There we go.
I mean, when you're speaking facts like that, it's really tough. It's really tough.
No, it is because
Michael Chandler's dude can crack, bro. He's a striker, bro.
Well, now that we saw what he can do, I mean, we only saw him once in the UFC with Dan Hooker, but
right.
I kind of agree with Dustin. He hasn't really earned a title shot just yet. Now, I'm not saying because he hasn't.
I agree too.
He hasn't, he's only had one fight. You can't just leap over, Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, all these other people that are in Wayne Lang, Tony Ferguson still.
No, I agree with you. I really do.
Other contenders, you should probably get maybe the next one up. Justin Gaethje should be a perfect one.
I agree with you as well. It all plays out in the end. But my thing is he really does have a point though. He did knock that guy out in 2.5 minutes, and Dustin Poirier couldn't do it in 5 rounds. That's a big cement statement,
But you can with that you can go either way. Dustin knocked out Conor McGregor, which Nate Diaz couldn't do, Jose Aldo couldn't do.
Well, now we're just getting into the fight math, bro.
I know,
and
right?
It'll never make sense.
MMA math never makes sense, dude.
It never makes sense. But if we can speak a little bit to who we would like to see Chandler fight next, would be Gaethje, at least in my opinion. He speaks a little bit on the TKO knockout of Conor McGregor. He says, "I don't feel bad for him. I love seeing a loudmouth get knocked out. There's nothing that makes me happier. Seeing a piece of shit get put down, that was great. I loved it."
Oh my God. Now I kind of just want to see this fight right here. Conor McGregor versus Justin Gaethje.
That's a fight. Okay, so once again, this is just so nice because all these guys are going to end up fighting each other as long as they stay active. Conor, I know, excuse me, I know you don't like taking L's, bro. I know you don't like taking L's, but you got to do it. You got to keep coming back and fight these guys.
Dude, I think he would catch a bigger L with Justin Gaethje because he has heavier kicks and heavier punches, and he's down to brawl during the fights. If you've seen
he's got cardio, stamina,
exactly, and power, knockout
everything,
power,
man, precision. I honestly, so in regards to Gaethje versus Chandler, I honestly think Justin Gaethje will still win that fight as well.
I think so
too. He's going to earn the shot against Poirier for the belt, and
they run that one back.
Yeah, absolutely.
That first fight, I don't know. Were me and you at Buffalo Wild Wings watching that?
I'm pretty sure we were.
Yeah. So I remember watching that Buffalo Wild Wings, and the crowd was just going crazy because I mean, Dustin versus Gaethje was a great fight. I feel like everyone has like a short term memory, but that was one great fight night right there on its own.
It really was. And just another excuse to go rewatch it again. If you guys got a Fight Pass, you could rewatch it at any point in time you want.
And then they have Justin Gaethje on Nate Diaz because Nate Diaz in the mix with the 155 contenders and Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. So Justin Gaethje says, "I'll roll him up and smoke him."
My boy, dude, I don't believe it till I see it.
Dude, he's trying to roll him Nate Diaz, bro.
Hey, you know what? He might roll him up in the cage and then roll one up with him after.
All right, before we move on. Why doesn't Nate Diaz fight on 420?
He might.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why not have like that weekend for him? Because Nate Diaz has the CBD company.
Does it land on a Saturday?
I have no idea.
Hold on, let me check.
Pull it up, dude. Because it's Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz 420 this year trilogy with whoever or throw a big fight with him. Why not? That would be a big fight on April.
I really got to check this.
What's your calendar say, bro?
I really want to find out what day this is. Hold on.
Dude, if that lands on a Saturday this year, you're welcome, UFC.
It's on a Tuesday.
Oh, is it?
Lame.
Well, hey, you can promote that whole week, 420. Have Cheech and Chong come in there with Nate Diaz.
You can. I mean, hopefully he's smoking CBD because I know that they could still bust you for excessive amounts or whatever the case may be.
Oh, really? I thought they already lifted that restriction for the MMA fighters in the UFC.
Yes, and we went over that, but I also read that in certain athletic commissions, like for example, California and Nevada, they still recognize it as illegal.
Whoa, hold on. California and Nevada.
That's what I had overheard.
Out of all the places.
Please fact check me. Drop a comment below. You would think out of all places, yes, but maybe they're just a little bit behind on the legislative. I don't know.
Oh, well,
That's just what I was told from what I heard. So please, I would love for somebody to fact check me. We'll get back to that on the next podcast.
Yeah, we'll come back maybe on
to
420.
reiterate.
Yeah, we go.
If we remember.
What do we got next?
Excuse me. Oh my God, I got excited.
There we
Took
go.
too much air in. We got Dustin Poirier speaking on the potential fight with Mr. Nate Diaz. So he says, does it make sense in the lightweight division? No. Does it make sense where I'm at, standing in front of the door of the title shot? No. But it's a fun fight, and it's an entertainment, and this is fighting.
I love it. If Dustin's about the money and he's not going to get a title shot next, because who knows who's going to get a title shot. UFC still hasn't announced it. We're still, which is weird because Khabib is still holding on to the belt.
It's all about activity, mate.
Right? But
it's all about activity.
So I'm like, when are they going to strip Khabib and do all these things? But that would be a fun fight if they still haven't. Khabib hasn't relinquished his belt yet, so
I'm pretty sure they're going to announce that he's going to lay the belt out once they have an idea of if it's going to be Charles Oliveira versus Poirier or Oliveira versus Chandler or whoever. I'm sure it's going to come out within the next couple of months. I have a feeling within the next month or two, at least by
the end of this month, maybe. Yeah. Okay, I agree. It's just we're waiting too long, dude. Like you haven't announced that you retired, but you're still holding on to the belt. UFC obviously was planning on Conor to win, and that
yeah, we all know
it was your night, bro. Yeah, it was your night.
Even Shaquille O'Neal saw what happened that night. Do you want to get in on that one?
Yeah, Shaq says it's hard to be on top forever. When you are on top, there's a lot of people that want your position. And then Khabib says he says, I think it should be a part 3 between Poirier and McGregor, but I would like to see Conor fight my guy Nate Diaz. Now, the reason why I brought Shaq's comments up, because I know he's not an MMA fighter, he's not even in the sport, he's not a commentator or nothing. Shaq cut in front of me at a gas station and didn't want to take a picture of me. I was like, Shazam, come on, dude. Like, take a picture of me. Nah. He's like, hey, let me go there in front of you, bro. And he tapped me on my shoulder. I'm like, who is this? I was like, what the heck, Shaq? And my coworker was right behind me. And my camera had just broken on my phone. So it was just like, oh, let me take a picture with you, man. He's like, oh, I got to get going, man. You come in front of me, Shazam, come on.
Yeah,
he's all like, oh, I got to get going. His security or his buddy was out by the door, and he just watching me.
Shazam, bro.
He was going to Vegas because where I work, there's a freeway intersection where it's like, are people coming from the 210,
right,
215, and there was a gas station there. And I was like, of all places, Shaq, you didn't want to take a picture of me, bro?
Yeah, bro, come on, bro. I hooked you up.
You didn't think this was going to come out? It's coming out on the Ringside Beer Show.
Now we got to speak about it. So, Shaq, let me just get in just a little bit. Of course, people would like to see Conor fight Nate Diaz again. That is the only fight that we really want to see. Because once again, Conor has to take these money fights, these interesting fights, these fights that he has a potential to win.
Yeah.
And not these top guys, Fight guys that have been inactive like him. Fight somebody he's already been with. Those are the kind of things that we need to see from Conor right now. Not him going up to welterweight and challenging for a title. Not him going down to featherweight. No, we want to see... And we don't even want to see him running back with Poirier again. At least let me speak for myself. I don't want to see it. Not when you get knocked out like that. No matter how good the first round was.
Yeah, and with Conor versus Nate, it's 1-1 right now, right? So you can get this trilogy if Conor gets a win, which I think he could get a win with Nate Diaz.
Maybe they could run that fight at 170, Poirier versus McGregor.
Oh, no. No, Dustin would destroy him in the first round, man.
I agree. But what I'm saying is first one was at 45, 55, so featherweight, lightweight, now welterweight. And then,
You just feel like they fight every.
Because then at that point you can't say, well, you had the advantage, or you got to run it 2 times that lightweight. Like, you know what I'm saying? We did it once at each division, and you got me here, and I got you there, and this was the final one.
Now, as a purist, Dustin versus Charles Oliveira for the title makes sense.
Run it.
Conor versus Nate, maybe on the same card.
Run it.
Dude, there you go. You have a massive event right there, and you start cleaning up the 155 division.
Yeah. Unplug the hole, please. Yeah, there's a lot of hair in there, and we need it.
Yeah, because if Conor wins against Nate on that same card, you already know who's going to win, or who's going to fight for that belt.
Somebody dropped a Khabib hat, and it went down the drain, and it plugged it up. And now we got to pull that hat out to get the flow going.
There we go. Spike, speaking about flow.
Oh, man. Speaking about flow, you
Some
know what
nice,
my kind
delicious flow is?
Exactly. You know what my favorite kind of flow is? Some draft.
Some draft flow. We got some Irish-style red ale from Ringside Beer.
Let's get into it. Ringside Beer, since 2012, committed to bringing fight fans quality lagers and ales. Ringside Beer is proud to offer fresh beer in both 16-ounce cans and on draft. Look for our flagship American-style lager, Irish-style red ale, or any of our other beers in your area. Shop at ringsidebeerstore.com for t-shirts, hats, and tap handles. Get in touch at ringsidebeer.com. Get in the ring. Be ringside. Ringside Beer.
Don't.
So, dude,
Florida is popping Ringside Beer. So if you're in Florida, guys, get you some Ringside Beer. It's in downtown Sarasota. Go on Ringside Beer Instagram and look at all the different locations that we're posting.
We got 3 places where we need to go, my boy.
And if you want to purchase something off the Ringside Beer store, get an extra 25% off for our viewers. Just type in promo code the Ringside Beer Show.
Yes,
and enjoy that 25% off the entire purchase. So
how dare I interrupt something so important like that?
That's all right, man.
I apologize.
That's all right. I had to bring it back.
Yes, we got 3 places we need to go. Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas.
There we go.
For the Canelo fight. We need to go to Texas.
Because it's popping.
And we need to go to Florida for some Ringside Beer.
There we go, man. All right. We got fight recaps. And I enjoyed the fights. Caleb Plant versus Caleb Truax.
Yes.
I believe that's how I said it, right?
Yeah, we'll take that.
First impressions, well, I mean, my reaction was this was a super one-sided ass whooping. I'm just going to be plain blunt about it. Caleb Plant put a whooping on Truax.
Yeah, no, it was pretty much like you said, an ass whooping. I love seeing fights like this because you want to, there's always that potential for the guy, and that was the thing for Truax was he was landing some big shots, so there was the potential like, oh man, he might have that one shot exactly, and he still had it later in the rounds, but when it came down to actually looking at the fight overall, that was a booty whipping.
Yeah, Plant landed more punches throughout the fight. I think at the end of the 12th round, it was 177 to Plant, and Truax had 47 landed punches. And if you look at how many punches were landed consistently for Truax, he was in the 3, 4, 5 punches landed per round. Right. And Caleb, he was just landing 20 plus, per round. Right. So landed. Obviously, they threw more. I think the total thrown punches was closer to 400 something for Caleb Plant. But
it felt like Truax was just trying to keep the clinch. He did not want to take these shots from Caleb Plant because he was just getting smacked around. And do I blame him? Nah,
man. It was just funny because post interview, Caleb Plant was saying that his arm was broken in the 4th or 5th round, and to still continue to have that type of output throughout the whole fight and not losing a step. I'm pretty sure you watched it, because he was consistent. It was consistent from the first round to the 12th round with a broken hand. That's what he was saying.
And maintain that power. And that was the most important thing, fought through that adversity and showed that he's a real champion.
Exactly. And then also during the post-fight interview, they asked him, who's next? Well, he had to take this mandatory fight. You touched on it earlier on the episode, where boxing, they have boxers do these mandatory fights before, you can go get a super fight.
Right.
And so they asked him, what about Canelo? So he's getting the mandatory fights out the way, and then hopefully by the end of the year, this was what he was saying, he wants Canelo. And do Caleb Plant versus Canelo? Woo! At 168 to unify the belts.
It's got to happen.
Let's do it.
And if Canelo continues to stay active, eventually it will.
Oh, guarantee you. So he has a fight, April? He has a fight in May, and then you might have one in September on Mexican. Let me see. September is Mexican Independence Day, right? September 13th? 14th?
I'm not too sure.
Well, I think if they have it in September, I'm pretty sure it's Mexican Independence Day around that time. So why not have it in September? That'd be a great fight. Canelo's, day to, another day for him. And both fighters will get a lot of money off of that. You have to have it
it's all about the cheese.
On Cinco de Mayo or Mexican Independence Day for Canelo. Yep. Hands down, those are the money fights for Canelo.
Yep. So, seriously, or else you'd miss out on a lot of money.
So hopefully we get that fight around that time.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I mean, if things work out how they're working out, that's the trajectory for sure.
Yeah. So congratulations, Caleb Plant, on that dominating performance.
Yeah, man.
Sorry for the viewers. I just
No, you good.
But yeah, no, super one-sided ass whooping. That's all we can say.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I mean, if you don't believe us, go watch.
Go watch. It's on Fox Sports, the app. You can just rewatch it there. And I think they aired it today too. They had it just playing live like it was happening. But
yeah, they want to make sure that you don't miss that.
yeah, it was a pretty good fight for Caleb Plant.
Yep.
So what do we got next?
Some fight announcements. Ooh,
The
this is
only fight announcement.
Yes, I shouldn't say some. I should say one.
The one. Bobby Green versus Jim Miller.
Yeah, man, I'm super pumped for this fight.
February 13th, UFC 258. So that's going to be on the undercard of Usman versus Burns. There we go.
Tight, dude. No, this is a good fight. This is a good fight to see where they're both at, kind of in their career. They're both bangers, you know. So I would like to see who comes out on top. I'm always a Bobby Green fan, so I'm gonna pick Bobby Green.
I agree. Bobby Green, Jim Miller. I mean, he's still good. He's a veteran in the sport, but he has been in the game for such a long time. He's been in with like when Diego Sanchez was here, Clay Guida.
Right.
I mean, he's
part
been
of them old school cats.
Exactly, but he is still doing somewhat fairly good. So this is a good spot for Jim Miller to see if he can still fight contenders like Bobby Green.
Yep.
Bobby Green, I believe he's coming off a loss. I'm not 100% sure, but this will be a good spot to see where he's at.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, seriously, for both of them.
Exactly.
And a little bit of an early Valentine's Day gift.
There we go.
So we got some fights this week.
This weekend. First up, we have Bare Knuckle Mania, BKFC. They're charging $40 for the pay-per-view, and this is Paige Van Zandt versus Hart is the main event.
They got a couple names in here that I recognize. For example, Chris Lieben. For example, Paige Van Zandt. And Bedford, I've seen him fight the last time he fought for that belt. Yeah, you know, I'm excited. I'm honestly excited to see where Paige Van Zandt is at for her debut. She's talking a really big game, saying scars are, you know, they make you more attractive, and sounds like she's game, man. I'm excited.
Did you see what Lieben posted? He's like, what he tweeted something about him and Paige is like, don't let our good looks fool you or something. Something to that extent. And he put a picture with him sided with Paige Van Zandt where she's like in a bikini or something. I'm like, dude, get out of here, Lieben. Dude, I met him at a local fight promotion. I think it's called the Fighters Rep, and over here in San Bernardino. And he was reffing. I was there for his first reffing gig. For his amateur, well, not Lieben's amateur debut, but for the amateurs that were fighting there. And man, out of all the refs that were there, everyone was yelling at Lieben for stopping the fight too soon, for doing weird things, because he didn't know. He didn't know what the amateur size, because he'd been a pro for so long, he didn't know the amateur rules. And people were just yelling at him. I'm like, oh, man, they're like, we're going to kick your ass the second this fight's over, man. And Lieben's just like, all right, I need to back out the door, dude. Because, we were in the heart of San Bernardino, you know, by the pool hall?
I know exactly where that's at.
Right there. I was like, oh, dude, Lieben got to exit out the back door, hop on the freeway real quick.
Better. Well, I mean, he's a fighter, so I'm sure he'll be able to get out.
And for our viewers, look at the undercard, man. Why do I feel like they're just fresh out of probation or something, you know?
Oh my God.
Why did I feel like everyone has like a parole officer on the end of the card, dude?
Probably because half of them do.
Right?
No, but those are the kind of fighters I want to see.
Yeah.
I don't want to see no cats looking like me getting in there. I'm just telling you right now.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see no Logan Pauls getting in there. Actually, I do want to see him go in there so he can get knocked out.
Rephrase. We want to see Logan Paul and bare knuckle.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only sport I want to see that guy in. Let's see how good your boxing is there. But no, this is cool. I mean, at the end of the day, it takes a real gangsta to step in that cage and to throw him with your bare knuckles. And most of these fights usually don't last that long either way. So hopefully, you know, at least one of these people here can knock out the other one.
Now, I know they had the pay-per-views before on the BKFC.TV app. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time they're charging $40. Don't fact check me. But I'm just saying. I think it was cheap. I think it was cheaper before. I think they're banking on Paige Van Zandt selling this whole event.
Oh, of course, bro. You know they got to get their
Oh,
my
here we
God, I
go.
gotta stop with this.
Twitching the wires.
Anna's gonna let me know about this.
He's like, you're touching the wires, Ed.
It's 2 times. But it's definitely something that I really feel like they're gonna take advantage of, and why not? You got a bigger name, you got to pay him more. And you got a bigger following. Why not?
And her opponent, I think they picked a right opponent for Paige Van Zandt because her opponent, I believe, is 2 losses, 1 win. And with that 1 win, she got Paige Van Zandt. And I think they're just banking on Paige Van Zandt knocking her out.
Yeah, giving a little sardine, a little something to start her off with.
But dude, have you seen Hart's past fights though?
No, I haven't.
Her previous fight, she won her previous fight, but the fight before that, they stopped it because the cut was so bad on her eyelid that were like, dude, she was covered in blood, man. Covered in blood. Man. But what it showed me is that she has heart. She can withstand the punches. So I think for Paige, it's going to be a wake-up call because you don't have those 4-ounce gloves as padding in between, you know?
Yeah, no, you really don't know until you actually are in there and you throw that punch.
I'm pulling for Paige, don't get me wrong.
Same.
But it's I would say it's a 50-50, to be honest.
It is.
So
nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
All right, another fight. If you don't want to pay the $40, you get free $99 on for a UFC fight night. Overeem versus Volkov for a heavyweight bout. And Overeem had spoke about, he's still going to continue fighting until he gets the belt. And once he gets the belt, he's out. He ain't gonna defend it. He's like, once I get the belt, I'm out. So, which
is more than likely why he's probably gonna get knocked out this weekend. Even though
you're not going for Overeem?
No, I'm picking him, but I just have a feeling that I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way. Only because when you start talking like that, you already are okay with you already see the door.
Well, he got knocked out by Ngannou.
Yes.
I believe with Stipe. I'm not 100% sure if he's fought Stipe before, but with Ngannou, I don't want to see Overeem fight Ngannou because if Ngannou wins the belt versus Stipe, that's coming up. That's it for Overeem, man. You know how strong Ngannou is.
Oh, excuse me.
Maybe. What's going on?
Long day, boy.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up right now, bro.
I know. But shoot, there was no Red Bull within reach today. All
right.
Or no coffee. I didn't even have a coffee today. I'm slacking.
That's all right. If you move over to the next slide, we have Overeem versus Volkov, the entire undercard and the main card.
Sweet.
So I highlighted some of the fights that I'm looking forward to, and I think these are going to be some of them are like determining factors. Like for Michael Johnson versus Clay Guida, they're both coming off losses, I believe multiple losses.
Yes.
And this one's more of like, all right, whoever wins gets to stay, and whoever loses gets to bounce.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of pulling from Michael Chandler.
Michael Johnson?
Michael Johnson. I know, because we've been talking about Michael Chandler this whole time. I'm pulling from Michael Johnson, and no offense to Clay Guida. It's just, Clay Guida's been in the game for so long.
Yeah. As my boy...
He's never going to fight for a title, so...
Yeah, as my boy Bruce Buffer says, it's time.
It's time, dude.
It's time.
And the main card, oh my God, it's so juicy.
Yeah.
We got Carlos Ferreira versus Dariush, who we were just talking about.
That's my boy
He's going to start the main card.
Dude's a stud.
Cody Stanman. The reason why I highlight that one is because of his last performance. He kind of left it off. I left it all in the cage. I believe his brother had passed away, and that was a much needed win for him.
Yes,
and he got it, and I was so happy for him.
Right,
and he's one of those fighters that just stuck out because he seems like a really, really good dude. So I'm looking forward to that fight just for the Cody to win.
I'm actually gonna go with my boy Ewo. He actually follows your boy on Instagram.
Oh, he does?
So I'm a little biased, but
little shameless plug right there, dude.
Just a little shameless plug, but I plan to try to get him on the podcast eventually, or at least send him a DM too. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go with my boy right here. A little bit of a bias.
I think we might have a little side bet after the show.
Maybe.
Corey Sandman Hagen is back as a co-main event against Frankie Edgar, a legend in the sport. If you guys didn't know, he is the co-main event.
Yeah.
This one's tough because Corey is on a heater right now, and Frankie Edgar, he has been fighting for such a long time.
Scraping by.
Yeah. I'm happy for whoever wins. I'm kind of pulling for Corey on this one.
Same.
But if Frankie wins, I am happy. I wouldn't be surprised if Frankie wins because he is a lot better with striking.
I don't feel the same. I feel it's going to be a good fight from Corey, and Frankie is on the way out.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
It's time.
Don't
for
get me wrong.
you as well.
Yeah. It's time. Get out.
Get on.
Bounce. And then we got, of course, Overeem versus Volkov main event. Two veterans, too. Dude, look at Overeem. 47 wins, 18 losses.
It's
No draw.
insane, man.
That's
That's
insane.
so many
47.
fights, bro.
What's that? Close to 60? Something like 60?
Well, that's over 60.
Yeah.
That
That's
is
insane.
literally.
That's pro fights, and not including his amateurs. You know,
Yep.
That's insane.
65.
And when we have Volkov at 40, 32 wins, 8 losses,
That's still a lot of fights, too, man.
but he's a little bit
Jeez.
fresher. I feel like, well, I mean, he did get knocked out by Derek Lewis,
He did.
but he was dominating that fight. So I'll give it to Volkov. He was dominating all the way to the last minute of that fight, and Derek Lewis just landed a bomb.
That was a Hail Mary.
Hail Mary, dude.
Straight up, dude.
All right, guys. Well, you guys enjoy the fights this weekend. We love you. Please like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, guys, remember,
Be ringside.
be ringside. Peace. We love you.